welcome back to Unfiltered Convos, and today we'll be discussing the Vanderpump Rules episode 3. And this episode had a lot of stuff going on, and yeah, we're gonna get into it. But before we do so, please remember to like, share, and subscribe below, and let's get into it. So we started off the episode. It continued from the birthday party. James had his sit down with Sandoval, and it shows where James left, walked out because Sandoval brought up back the whole him and Kristen how many years ago. Sandoval then decided to confide in Schwartz, saying that James' actions comparing to him is worse than what he did to James regarding Rachel. And I don't know, like, I don't know why is it that we're bringing up stuff from 10 years ago. Like, can we just let it go? Like, why is this a topic of conversation? Like, this should not have been something that was even brought up. Schwartz then advises Sandoval to manage his emotions for a better life outcome, which is true, because if every time you're supposed to want to mend a friendship with that you rightfully blew up, and then you're expecting them, and you're pretty much expecting to bring out the history book and push point fingers, and it's not the same where you're saying you take accountability, but like that is not taking accountability. Like, there's no remorse. It's like you're still making excuses for what you did, but you think that by you saying what you did was wrong, etc., it excuses you now saying, but this person has did that, this person has did that. And it's, as we see present day, it's the same thing. He's doing interviews, he's doing podcasts. It's over a year now, well, almost a year, and it's like it's the same sort of behavior. There's no accountability. There is nothing you're actually taking for yourself. Sandoval also then shares his grievance about James Sullivan at the party. So he pretty much was going around the room telling persons of what went down and how James wronged him how many years ago when they were all in their 20s. That's another thing. These persons were in their 20s. Everybody were in their young age. So why is it at your grown age in the 40s you're trying to compare actions from persons in their 20s? Like, it doesn't excuse the behavior back then, but why are we trying to make the two of them be the same playing field? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Then we had Billy Lee trying to comfort Tom regarding Rachel, and I don't know why Billy Lee is here. I thought we got rid of her how many seasons ago, and it seems like she's just using this moment to get back on the show. But I wasn't a fan of her. She just came on a little bit too strong, and yeah, I don't see her purpose, and I don't know. I don't even know why she was even there, but I guess she just needs some camera time. Then we had at the emo night, James then decided to update the girls at the party regarding what happened at the house. Of course, Ariana said that he's surrounded by yes people, so of course they're going to agree with everything that he's saying. And that could be true. That could not be true as well, but yeah, we'll see. Then we had Sheena, who then decided to perform her song, Good as Gold. Then Schwartz decided to show up how many hours later and then act all surprised like he didn't know that he missed the set. Then, of course, Sheena also was saying that she found it strange that he reached out to James and not her. And Sheena, my dear Sheena, you need to let this thing go. Like, the friendship you thought you had was not the friendship, and the idea of you wanting it to be also the focus on you, it's not going to happen. This happened to Ariana. I know you were a part of the friend circle, and I know that you got a restraining order, and yes, you love to find those ways of way to tight as a way of that you are also a part of it. But if you're going to do that, then I guess everybody in the group needs to do that. They were a part of the group, they were a part of the cast, so it also affected them. Because I don't see why every scene, it's like you keep on shifting it from the actual party who was affected by it to make it more about you and your situation. Like, just give it up. Then We then move on to where we had Katie. She visits Ariana at their house. She also says to Katie then says that Sheena, they are planning to do a dinner. And of course, they discuss their Sheena's lingering feelings towards Schwartz as to why Sheena keeps on inviting Schwartz to places. And we saw in future episode that she pretty much actually did the same thing again with the at Pump restaurant, basically. Then we move on to the next scene where we had Lisa at her restaurant and she was on the phone with Ken, and then same time Sandoval walked in with a bouquet of flowers. And she act all surprised, like I guess it wasn't on her call sheet that he would have been stopping by. But then again, the whole scene to me looked very staged. I don't know. There's this thing that Tom does when he's talking. It's like he's talking and then he's like he looks like he's looking at the camera, or he's like looking to ensure that his angles are right or if he's convincing enough. And that is where the inauthenticity comes out, because I never get, whenever he's expressing himself, I've never gotten a he's sorry for what he did. He's actually genuine in what he's saying. It just always seemed like it's an acting scene for him. Like, not done playing if he really thought about committing suicide, of course, but I don't know. It's just the way he expresses himself just comes off to me like he's faking. Like, it doesn't seem real. And it would be really sad if he's using the whole suicide that person struggle with each day as an excuse or pretty much of a thing to to get sympathy from the public or from people around him. But I don't know. The whole scene was, to me, what I got from it, it was a bit too staged. It didn't seem authentic. It didn't seem genuine. It did not seem like he literally came by. It just seems like this scene was just all placed into the show to help bring sympathy towards him. We then moved to the next scene. We had dinner. Katie and Sheena met up for dinner. Sheena apologizes to Katie because, last season she was pretty much screw Katie, basically. She also disinvited her to the wedding, which Katie then still showed up to the same hotel that the wedding was keeping because she already had her room booked, which I'm sure production did that. But I want to see how long this is going to last, because Sheena is just Sheena and Katie is just Katie. And it's okay if a friendship does not work out, if it's not aligned to work out that way. But I really want to see how long this is going to last, because this is like 11 years now, and it's always the same thing with the two of them. Like, they try out a friendship and then Sheena does something, or Katie rage comes out or something, and it just doesn't go right. But let's see how long it lasts. Then Katie also mentions her upcoming date that she has with Sheena's bandmates. Don't know why she told Sheena, because the last time when they had the fallout last season, it was the same thing where she pretty much was throwing Katie under the bus, that why does she care if Schwartz is doing anything, because she is going out on dates and kissing people and whatever the case might be. So I don't know why she felt like, and I could somewhat see it in Katie's face when she started to see Sheena starting to amp up about it. Like, she was like, oh shit, did I do the right thing in telling her? Because, yeah, we know how Sheena gets. She also apologizes to Katie as well for inviting Schwartz to emo nights, but yet he was still invited to the restaurant. Okay. We have Schwartz, who met up with Lisa. He discusses his brother Hell, who is also struggling with alcoholism. And Lisa says that she feels that the punishment that is being bestowed upon Sandoval doesn't fit the crime, and she just wants people to take it easy, because she has a soft spot for Sandoval. And at the same time, she decided to talk about something she's having at Lake Tahoe, and of course that's where the whole group trip is set up, where she wants Schwartz now to invite the group down to Lake Tahoe to see if that will hopefully mend the group divide, which I think I've seen articles about what went down on that trip, but yeah, we'll see. Then the final scene we have where we had the meeting at Pump Restaurant, and this is where everything just was all over the place for me. We had the girls met up with, because James was DJing at that night. Schwartz decides to extend invitation to Lake Tahoe to James. He says that despite the situation that he had with Sandoval at his house, he is not going to pretty much run or have out this anger towards someone, so he is down for the trip. He then arrives around the table and expresses his yes, he arrives and then Schwartz went around the table, and then Lala, this is where Lala asked him that if he's just popping up in places or is he actually invited, because at this point doesn't seem like anybody really wants to associate themselves with Schwartz as well, but for some reason every time there's an event there's Schwartz in the background. It's either he's around the bar bartending or he's somewhere, but there's Schwartz pretty much. Sandoval then arrives. He then expresses to his friend that he's ready to apologize to the group, which we see that he still doesn't know what apologizing is, because his way of apologizing is pretty much bringing up everything that the person did wrong instead of taking accountability for what he did wrong. Ariana then rejects to be on the trip because that's where Schwartz invited the group to Lake Tahoe. She rejected her, so she doesn't want to be in any presence around Sandoval. And I don't understand what people find so hard in that. If you had your partner who you thought you were good, yes, you guys are not perfect, and then you had a best friend of yours who you pretty much take in under your wing, and you find out that your partner was cheating with your best friend, also in the household with you, especially when you're out of town, and this is like 3 months later, why do you think this girl should get over it and then accept being around him? Screw the show. The show is about their life. So don't say that she needs to come off the show if she doesn't want to be around him. No, the show is about their life, and that is her life. She doesn't want to be around this individual. She's not stopping persons if they decide to be around him in the same setting, but she herself doesn't want to be around this individual. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with her sharing that she doesn't want to be around this person? Yes, she has questionable ways where it comes onto the house and not moving out, but what is wrong if she just doesn't want to be around them? I'm sure you guys have exes out there that you don't want to be around till this day. How many years has passed? And I'm sure none of your friends can tell you, get over it. It's been how many years ago? Why are you still bothered? So I don't see what is the idea. And the thing is, we just put too many false expectations on these persons and acting as if like these persons are not actually humans, and they're actually, this is not a scripted TV show. So I don't see why it's like we want persons to easily just get up and move on. Schwartz then decides to tell Ariana why she's speaking for the rest of the group. She's not the queen of the group, and that her ego is getting to her head. And is that ego going to Ariana's head? Some may say yes, some may say no. Some may say, who wouldn't feel that way if all of these opportunities is coming to you? Now the spotlight is finally on you. Of course, you'll feel some sort of way. Could it be confidence? Is it actually an ego going to her head? Could she just more confident? Because remember, she struggled with mental health. Now she has persons now focusing on her. She's getting all of these opportunities and stuff that she actually wanted to do way before she really dives straight into the show. So it could be ego, yes. But at the same time, she could be just confident and working, and people just don't like seeing that. They just be like, well, I think you're milking the situation. And anybody in her situation would do the same thing. Who would turn down money? Who would see that, okay, yes, I was on this show. I was somewhat in the background. No, this happened to me. No one wishes that on anybody. And now all of these opportunities are coming to me. I would take the opportunity. I'm not going to sit there and act as if like, no, I need some time. I'm not taking any money. I need to sit down and just figure this shit out. No one has time for that. She's going to take the money. So if it's ego or if she's just confident, let her do her. But if her friends are not seeing an issue with her behavior or change in her behavior, who are we to say that she's being very egotistical? Then we had tensions. Then, everybody at the table was someone coming at Schwartz saying that he needs to leave Sandoval alone when he keeps defending him. Then Lala says that he's soon going to realize down the road that he should have cut him off then instead of keep on trying to repair a friendship with him. Then while Sheena all of a sudden decides that, I'm going to go to the bathroom, I'm sure as producer probably tell her, hey, head to the bathroom and head this direction because Sandoval is sitting right here. She decides to walk to the bathroom. Then he says, hey, Sheena, which to me was very weird because you blocked her. You had this anger towards her. Now you are seeing her passing and you're acting all surprised, like, oh my God, hey, Sheena. Like, to me, that was just so weird. And then she decides to say that she's not going to talk to him in public. She's going to talk to him around at the back. And the two of them doesn't look good. In public, yes, you're going to have persons saying that, okay, she's all cool with him now, whatever. But the two of you guys alone around at the back having this conversation now just seems like now you're trying to somewhat sound. Yes, it's on camera, but it may come off as if like you are playing both sides of the fence. Like you're out here in public acting like, yes, screw Sandoval, but then you're around the back having a conversation with him. And I'm sure the group at the time wasn't aware that this was taking place. So it just seems to me both ways looks away to me. And of course, typical Sandoval, he sat around there, didn't take accountability for shit. Timur blasted how she had this guy on her podcast who was an ex of Rachel, and what he did and what he said and how it affected Rachel. And first of all, I think Rachel was in a mental facility, so I'm not sure how she was aware of what was said on this podcast. So more likely you listened to the podcast, Sandoval, and you went back when you had your conversation with Rachel and told her what was said, which defeats the purpose of her being in a mental facility to work on her mental. And you're here basically repeating what was said, which could probably trigger her mental states. Because I'm sure she wasn't in the facility that long enough for you to even be repeating what was said on this podcast. So don't know who is helping who here, but it doesn't work. Then, of course, we had Sheena. She got up and said she's walking away from the conversation because, none of us not making any sense. And this is now two persons who has walked away from a conversation with Sandoval when he's supposedly trying to apologize. And I'm not sure if this is going to be his eye-opening moment to see, okay, maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. Maybe I need to start this way. Maybe I need to listen more. Maybe I need to actually take accountability more. Screw what the other person has did as well, but take accountability on your end and apologize and just leave it at that. Let the other person now decide to do what they want to do with that apology and see if they want to work on a friendship with you. But this idea of you saying you want to repair the friendship, but your first moment in the moment is blasting them are pointing out their wrongdoings as if you have not done nothing wrong doesn't work. Or you saying that I'm really sorry in what I did and I take accountability for what I did, but then at the same time you are pretty much doing the same thing doesn't work either. So I don't know what you guys think. Like this episode to me, I rated probably like an 8 out of 10. It was an okay episode. It wasn't bad. I would love to see what next week will bring. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.